All right, so the little wheel starts like this. Good job, Princess. There's a little wheel turning in my heart. There's a little wheel turning in my heart. In my heart, in my heart. There's a little wheel turning in my heart. There are two hands clapping in my heart. There are two hands clapping in my heart. In my heart, in my heart. There are two hands clapping in my heart. And there are two feet stomping in my heart.
So just basically from the beginning
There are two.
Okay.
and leading up to
Yeah, so Abby, she didn't have necessarily a normal birth. I mean, it was, when she was born, she had meconium aspiration, which led into pneumonia, and she wasn't feeding very well. So she was in the hospital when she was born for about 5 days. And we took her home, and she was born in October, so early October, and that whole month she seemed, you know, pretty good. You know, she wasn't feeding well, so we were talking to a doctor about, you know, failure to thrive. But then, like in November, December time frame, we started seeing these uncontrollable movements with her arms and her legs, and she wasn't tracking, so she wasn't following objects. So when we took her to an ophthalmologist and he looked behind in her eyes, they saw this abnormal pigmentation behind her retina, and they had seen that with a neurological issue. So we ended up going to a neurologist, and he saw Abby's uncontrollable movements, and he right away knew that they were he called them infantile spasms, but basically seizures. And so at that point, she was hospitalized, and they taught us how to give injections, steroid injections, every day. Every day my husband and I had to give her injections for her seizures. And then that's when all the testing started. So 2 years of testing, and nothing was coming back positive. We couldn't find anything to diagnose her. And finally, her neurologist at CCMC sent us to a specialist in Atlanta. When she was about 2009, they took a muscle biopsy and finally diagnosed her with a mitochondrial disorder. And that basically means her cells don't get enough energy to perform properly. So that's why she wasn't hitting her milestones. She didn't have the strength. You know, the mitochondria is like the power cells of your blood cells. They're in every blood cell. So that's when we started doing very serious treatments, but there's no cure. So we just do a lot of therapy, a lot of physical therapy. We go to Kidspace. She gets therapy at school, both occupational and physical therapy to strengthen her muscles, help her to sit up. And over the years, through this constant therapy, she has definitely gotten stronger in her head control, her neck control. You know, she still can't swallow well, so she has the feeding tube. And she's on a special diet called a ketogenic diet that helps a lot with the seizures as well. Help Miss Karen take that down.
2 hands.
2 hands?
This one too. Get it. 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
There we
put
go.
it on the swing for Miss Karen?
You put it on for me?
Put it on the swing. That's what Abby lays on
Yes,
the swing.
That's her pick. All right.
Okay.
So we have another child that Abby's Helping Hand sponsors, and it's an infant. He has a sister with special needs, but he was having a lot of troubles with feeding, and he needed a lot of craniosacral work, chiropractic, and actually some naturopathic work. So they kind of got him over the hump. He doesn't need it anymore. Like
Oh,
he's,
really?
yeah.
Great.
So
great.
a couple months, and he was good. Yeah, but Abby's helping hand has been amazing for our patients because we do a lot with sliding scales and things like that too. But it's helped us help more people. Like,
she loves going to school. She loves the attention of the kids. You know, yesterday I drop her off every day at school, and on Friday, yesterday, we met for the first time this little girl that her nurse was talking about that is in her pre-K class. So Abby goes to a pre-K class in the afternoon and spends her mornings with her 3rd grade class. And this little girl, her name is Christina. She is so excited to see Abby every day. Christina has trouble walking, so she's in a stroller most of the time, but she does have a walker. And Abby's nurse would tell me that you can hear Christina squealing with delight every time that she would see Abby. And so we met Christina for the first time yesterday, and her mom, Annie, and she was just shaking with excitement to see Abby. And her mother told me that, I'm going to get a little emotional, that when Christina sees Abby from a distance, it motivates Christina to walk. So she gets her walker and she walks right up to Abby. And to me, that's just
that must mean a lot. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. All right, so the little wheel starts like this. Good job, Princess.
There's a little wheel turning in my heart. There's a little wheel turning in my heart. In my heart, in my heart. There's a little wheel turning in my heart. There are 2 hands clapping in my heart. There are 2 hands clapping in my heart. In my heart, in my heart. There are 2
When Abby was diagnosed, the doctor invited families with children with mitochondrial disease to a symposium to talk about a drug that was being developed and in the very infancy stages of development. And we met a mother whose little girl named Olivia had Lee's disease, which is the most probably severe case, one of the most severe diseases, mitochondrial diseases. And Olivia had been on this trial drug for 6 months. And they start children, when they do trial drugs, they start with those people who are terminal, basically. So Olivia's mom was telling us that with this drug, Olivia started talking, like singing nursery rhymes, and she started taking food by mouth, and we thought, oh my gosh, that's so great. So we started supporting the Foundation for Mitochondrial Medicine. The doctor was on the board for this. So that's when we, on our ride home from Atlanta, we said we got to try and help this foundation. So we started the walk back in 2010. And we thought, well, let's see if we can get 100 people and maybe raise, $10,000, and we ended up having 500 people and raising almost $50,000. So we continued that for a few years, 3 years, and gave all the proceeds to the Foundation for Mitochondrial Medicine. And every year, people would come out, the community would come out, and then we just thought, we really need to try and give back to our supporters, give back to the community that's really coming out every year. So that's when we thought, let's do our own foundation. And on the ride back from Atlanta, which we would go every year, Abby's Helping Hand was kind of established, I guess. My husband and I talked about what to call it. We talked about the logo, and we recruited some people that would help us. And so for the past 2 years, all of the proceeds from the walk and some of the other events that we do help children like Abby. So like you've seen Nathan at Kidspace, we've sponsored a few children to get intense therapy like that to help them build muscle and build strength. We've helped families get roll-in showers so that children in wheelchairs, they like to try and be as independent as possible. So taking a shower, being able to roll into a shower is very fulfilling for them. Just recently we helped a family get a ramp for the front of their house. That's what we try and do now with the proceeds. We still help the Foundation for Mitochondrial Medicine because nothing comes to us or nothing comes to Abby. So our way of helping Abby is continuing to help the foundation to see if they can get different therapies, continued drug treatments to hopefully find a cure. But anyone with chronic diseases, we try and help in any way we can.